That is the sound of Igwe, a set of traditional musical instruments which are exclusively played for royalty in Onitsha, here in Nigeria. Onitsha, a metropolitan city located on the eastern bank of the Niger River in Anambra State of Nigeria, is known for its economic hub for commerce, industry, and education. It hosts the largest market in Africa, the Onitsha Main Market, in terms of geographical size and volume of goods. According to the 2006 Nigerian census, Onitsha has an estimated city population of over 250,000 people. The indigenes of Onitsha, who migrated from Benin, prefer to be referred to as Ndi Onitsha. They are Igbo and speak the Igbo language.
Onitsha Kingdom, as we have it today, was founded by our founding father, Ezechima, who led the migration from Benin City. The migration actually started from Ile-Ife, somewhere around the 7th century AD, and then progressed to Benin. When we got to Benin, the Onitsha group stayed in Benin, and the migration continued eastwards across the Niger. Now, the Onitsha group stayed in Benin for another 800 years before they continued the migration somewhere in the early 1500s. And the story was that there was a disagreement with the palace of the Oba of Benin, and then they decided to continue the migration. So it was clear that moving eastwards, they knew the direction they were going. In fact, if you roll back on history, then there are modern facts that are even indicating that that migration that left Ile-Ife through Benin eastwards across the Niger was a return migration. So there was a prior migration from the east to the west.
The full name is Onitsha Edo, but Edo, Benin. When they moved from Ife, they became a part of Benin. So when they were moving away, they carried the nomenclature. Onitsha, for the sense that they did not agree with the people who accommodated them, and they would rather fight a war to maintain that they are different or that they will have the rights they were claiming. So they would surmount any obstacle. Honestly, Incha, they really fought and submerged all obstacles in order to get at the results they desired.
When they got to the Niger, they were ferried across by Igala fishing people. And the bond of relationship started, right there. And when they came across onto the eastern banks, they met Igbo people. They can imagine that the long trek of several generations from Benin, that those who survived that came across were probably all men, So they have to marry. So by intermarriage with our immediate Igbo communities, we now have a situation today where Onitsha is a fusion. It's a fusion of 3 ethnic nationalities: Edo, Igbo, and Igala. I have Edo blood, I have Igala blood, I have Igbo blood.
The Obi of Onitsha is the traditional head of the ruling council, and in his cabinet are the Ndichie, also known as the Red Cap Chiefs. The Ndichie, or title chiefs, are divided into 3 categories. There is the Ndichiume, headed by the Onowu Iyasele, the Prime Minister, and 5 others. These are the closest members to the Igwe's council. The 23-member Ndiokwa, as the second category chiefs, are primarily expected to assist the Ndiume in executing administrative functions. The Ndichiokwaraze, with 15 members, is categorized as the third-grade chiefs. As the title implies, it may be conferred on public-spirited citizens who may or may not be Ozo or title holders as conferred by the Obi. Among the functions of the Red Cap chiefs include upholding the propriety of religious and customary practices, dispensing justice according to equity and laws of the land. They defend the land against aggression and also participate in cultural festivals, among which is the Ofala festival. The Ofala festival is an annual festival that is celebrated by the people of Onitsha in Anambra State, Nigeria, to renew their allegiance to the Obi. The festival has been described as the most important surviving traditional ceremony of the Onitsha indigenes. It is well attended by people from all walks of life, captains of industries, politicians, royal fathers, and clergy, including the very young and old.
Without our culture, we are nobody. It's very important to uphold our culture and tradition, and for us to use that avenue to foster development and growth for our country.
This cultural ceremony is a thing that is worth observing at any given time, because it brings the people together. It brings a sense of unity, it brings a sense of conviviality, it makes the people come together, it helps to put down any sense of a conflict.
The festival is wonderful. It's a pleasure to be invited here and just to participate in this very huge and very well celebrated cultural event.
Everything seems well organized. Everybody's excited. Everybody's, can't wait for Igwe to come out so we can celebrate and support with him. So yeah, it's an air of celebration and support and unity, and that's great.
We need to get our true and well-respected traditional leaders to come together and forge some understanding in the country.
As part of the celebration, there is a traditional youth carnival where the youths of Onitsha, in traditional attires and gorgeous costumes, are dressed, depicting different grades of chiefs, including the Obi himself, who is the custodian of the Onitsha Traditional Society, file out in a colorful procession on the streets of Onitsha. The festival is a spectacular public outing of the Obi in the palace arena, with the cheer of a crowd made up of his subjects, most of whom have not seen him in the past 1 year. The first day of the Ofala festival showcases the parade of people from various clans who assemble at the palace ground in colorful traditional attires and beautiful regalia to pay homage to the Obi with the support of their kinsmen. The Red Cap chiefs, known as the Indiche, in their traditional attires, arise independently, each accompanied by their village music and also dancing to the beats of the traditional royal band, the Egwota.
Ofala is the peak of our annual festival cycle. It's once a year that the king appears in front of his people. And of course they hail him and they celebrate him and they pray for him, he prays for them. Ofala comes in the middle of the New Yam Festival. And our New Yam Festival is not celebrated in one day by the whole community. Different villages celebrate at different days, one after the other, starting from the smallest villages and ending up with the largest villages. So most of the villages have celebrated their New Yam Festival already. After Ofala, the Baleze, which are the royal villages, will now have their own celebration. That is the biggest. After which, I will now have my own celebration, which is the final.
Yam was foreign. Yam was even considered poisonous. But they had other people who were eating it. So they decided they would try, they would give it a try. A small village, enclave in Onitsha, known to be Babalawos, known to be Dibias, known to be herbalists, promised that they have a herb when mixed with the yam, roasted yam. It will provide the antidote to whatever poison was deemed to have been in the yam. Okay, let us try, and they did. The Onitsha man again with his sense, let us start with the smallest portion of our enclaves, the village, so that if really the yam would kill, we would have lost just a small portion, not a holocaust. They did try with this village called Ogbe Ozoma. Ozoma was one of the known chiefs, great chiefs of Onitsha in those days. So they did try, nobody died. And then they started, let the next village try, let the next village try. And that's how New Yam Festival came up.
At the Obi's palace, tens and thousands of men and women dance to the heart-pulsating beat of traditional drumming and merrymaking. The highlight of the festival is the Obi's entrance in his royal regalia and a crown called Ubododo, escorted by the members of his cabinet, the Indichi. He makes his first appearance before his subjects, who arise and cheer with their hearts full of joy and happiness. The Obi, flanked by his chiefs and page boys, carries the state sword called Abaka in his right hand and a long horse-tail called Odu in his left hand, with the Indiche adorned in their crowns, carrying their state swords made of steel. The Abalanzi, also referred to as titled men, are very important to the administration of the Obi. They are responsible for the spiritual needs of the people. They decide on measures or sanctions to be imposed on any person who contravenes any religious right in consultation with the Obi and Ndichie. They equally play the role of justice of peace in their various localities, and their decisions are always held in high esteem.
We, the Onitsha people, have stood and held to our culture, to our tradition, and I think our generation and generation yet unborn must live with the tradition left with us. The pride of a man remains in his tradition. His identity is his tradition. And a tradition is an embodiment of the man's life. So we will not let go.
Culture is not just dancing and everything, you know. The way we bring up our children, at the age of 10 to 12, all the boys must enter the masquerade society. When you join the masquerade society, you are now taught the morals of life going forward. You have to be honest, you know, you don't steal and all of that. And we still maintain all of this. Our masquerades are there not just to display for entertainment, but they have moral sense in what they do. Cultures learn from one another. And the more we relate to ourselves, the more we can learn from one another.
If of Onitsha, once you mention your name, the other Onitsha man will know whether you're from Onitsha or not. It is a close-knit society, close-knit family, and it's been helping our town in the kind of progress that we are making because of that affinity.
The celebration continues as the Indiche dance according to seniority to the tune of the sacred royal music along the palace ground. The sonorous beat changes in accordance with the respective titles and positions, one after the other. They dance with their spears, after which they hang their caps on their spears and take their seats. One striking sight is the multitude of colors on their caps. Subsequently, one after the other, the Indiche appear before the Obi for salutation.
The caps you're seeing there, first of all, are ceremonial caps. Hanging on poles, those things are not poles, they are like the spears. All the red cap chiefs you see there are warriors, and they protect a particular section of the town in case of war and attack. You have the generals, you have the 2 ICs, then you have the foot soldiers. Then the caps you see there is one once in a year coming for this Ofala festival. And the next time you can see the cap out is during the funeral of one of these red cap chiefs. The first son where he's celebrating his father. They are not actually mourned, they are celebrated.
The Obi rises for the second appearance in the square by walking ahead of a procession amidst songs and dances, after which he continues to sit on the royal throne. Women play an important role in the administration of the social life in Onitsha. They are responsible for keeping the home.
The average Onitsha woman is very dynamic. A lot of them are educated. You will see people who are in their 90s, who have been teachers, and have also trained their children to become people of repute in the society. And as in the past, you will hear women being called ne doctor, ne lawyer, all those kind of things. So another peculiar thing about the women in terms of their dynamism is how they have tried to keep their homes. The average Onitsha woman is a very good cook. If you give her any small thing, she makes extremely delicious food. And they are known for that in Igbo land. And they are neat.
All free-born Onitsha women are eligible to wear large pieces of ivory tusks, referred to as odu, on their arms and legs, as a demonstration of their attainment in life. According to tradition, A woman cannot wear ivories if her husband is alive and untitled, but she can put them on after his death.
We have women in different categories, the highest category being, in terms of elite women, the Otuodu group. These are women who have, either through their own acquisition of wealth or through their children or their husband, have been elevated to that prestigious society. It's an all-women thing.
Otuodu is an ivory society. It's a prestigious society. It's the highest society any Onitsha woman by marriage or birth can ascribe to join. And it's the third in the hierarchy of leadership in Onitsha Kingdom. Because you have the Obi and the Obi in council, the Agbalanze, then followed by the Otuodu.
Presently, any woman married to an Onitsha man can wear ivory tusks, but some say traditionally only Onitsha women and those from revering Igbo groups are eligible. During the festival, the traditional royal music sets the rhythm for the Obi's dance during his 3 outings. The royal drums, like most traditional drums, are made of stretched animal hides over a wooden frame, which are sometimes tied together with raw hides. The egwota, as it is called, is made up of 4 drums and a gong which dangles from a rope and is beaten on its opposing sides by 2 men who sit facing each other knee to knee. The third appearance of the Obi marks the end of the first day of the Ofala festival.
It's always a very big do at Onitsha because of their cultural leaning. We're very happy that they stick to the culture of the people.
It's part of the Igbo land that we look up to in terms of history, in terms of preservation of cultural elements of our society.
The Ofala is observed the following day. This involves the Obi appearing in the square without his outstanding large multicolored crown. He appears in a feathered red cap with a gold band crown. Like the previous day, the Obi appears 3 times to the chair of the crowd. Dances and songs by various age-grade societies, adorned in their different colorful traditional attires, are performed with an eye-catching and beautiful war dance.
You are principally identified by your age grade. You are all supposed to have grown up together, you do things together, and when you are celebrating, you celebrate together. When you are in mourning, they are there to support you. And indeed, when you pass from this life, it's them who are also principally engaged in seeing to the funeral rites.
The Indiches, Agbalanze and the Otuodu age grades are members of the council that controls the rulings of the town, that regulates whatever that happens in the town.
On this occasion, all age-grade societies stage a competition in a colorful dancing procession, displaying and demonstrating the peculiarity of their music, which in reality manifests the high cultural heritage of the Onitsha people.
Akwụ na nwa ụbọchị doziela anyị ebe a na ka anyị kwụ ọfụma.
Igwe thank you so much. Welcome.
This is one of the most colorful, most cultural, traditional events east of the Niger.
If we work together, respect one another, the fact that we comprise different languages, we comprise different ethnic origins, should be a force for good and a strength, a force for strength, rather than we fighting ourselves.
Ife Onitsha Erika, Ife Onitsha Erika no, Ife Onitsha Erika o.